Hello everyone, welcome to Casa Redesign. I'm Eduardo Pires, I'm interior designer at House Flipper, and I'm excited to show you my new project. So this is my latest project. I've been working in this house for about 6 months now. I know it's been a while since my last video. It's just been jogging around between clients and this project and another project. We have like a multi-family that we started renovation too. So it's been a lot going on, and I'm finally had the time, actually on the deadline, because this house is it's sold, so the closing is tomorrow. So it's already about 7 o'clock at night, and this is the time that the only time we got to actually show you this house before we actually close it on it, and will be too late. So come on in. I would like to show you like some before and after pictures that you're gonna see throughout the video. Actually, as you go through each room, I'm going to kind of explain what I done it. And I'll give you a couple ideas and even talk about costs, how to save. Everyone that knows me knows that I love to save and recycle, reuse things, repurpose. That's my deal. And I got this house from a friend of mine that he started the renovation. He never had a chance to finish, and he moved out of state, so it was a great opportunity to actually take it over. And so this is like kind of like the hallway as you first walk in, and it was intact woodwork. I know usually we shouldn't paint woodwork, but in this case, the house needs to be a little bit brighter, a little more updated. And I kept some of the woodwork, tried to restore some of it, like the doors, I refinished them. As you can see, it's a very textured wallpaper on the walls. And this is one of my biggest secrets. It's a great opportunity to hide imperfections on the wall. So this house has a kind of structural issues. We had to jack the house up and put 5 support beams with footings. And this is an old horsehair plaster house. It's a 1889 house, I believe. So it's about 130 years old. So once we jacked the house up, all the walls started kind of cracked. And we plastered the next morning. It was all cracked again as the house started setting. So after plastering 3 times and painting, and then kept seeing like some spider web kind of cracking, we decided to, well, I said, you know what, let me do wallpaper. That's what they had here in the past anyway. I don't know if you can see it, but if you get really close up, I'm gonna post a photo in this video from the close up that you can see the texture. This is kind of like a basket. You can see, it feels really nice though. Everybody that walks in get really impressed by it. When you touch it like this, you can feel the bumps from the cracks, but you can't see them. So it's a great way to hide, and looks way more elegant. It gives kind of interest to it. This is a nice coat closet as you walk in. I'm not gonna go up right now, but I can kind of like show you all the beautiful stained glass window. I was able to keep it. I also restained all the grills, all the windows, and I paint the frames. The reason that I decided to paint the white, everything in white, all the frames except the openings like the doors and windows, was because this house, they done it blow insulation in the past. And what happened was when they removed all the trims and they put them back, it had a lot of nail holes on it, like big nail holes, like old nails. And by using old filler and restaining them, it still doesn't look as nice as just like putting caulk in them or even old filler and then painting. And also, it makes the house a little bit more, gives contrast and brights a little bit. Coming this way, it's the kind of like parlor living room. And this is a really beautiful pocket door that I was able to restore it. I did paint some of the trim like I mentioned, but I would not paint something like this pretty, especially all the nice brass hardware. And this way, as you can see, it's a nice, good sized living room. Probably back in the day, this used to be a wall with pocket doors here too, and eventually they opened. This house went through a renovation back in the 50s based on a heating system and some other things that I saw in the house. And like I mentioned before, this house was jacked up and by about 1.25 inches. And as it was damaging all the walls, it also damaged the fireplace. The fireplace wasn't working anyway, but the bricks started getting loosened, and the terracotta tiles, they start popping. And I didn't like them. They look kind of cheap and they didn't do justice for this nice woodwork. I know I painted the fireplace, don't kill me, don't judge me. It was a very yellowy type of wood, and it's not very pleasant to a lot of buyers. Since this house, I bought it fully furnished, and most of the furniture was modern, so kind of like a mix, eclectic. I decided to use that as inspiration for the design. So by painting these in white, brighten up the space, and this is a big, about like 4 by 2 porcelain tiles. They're really gorgeous Italian tiles, and they look real marble. Like, I can believe that they are not like real. And my tile guy was able to do the 45 angle degrees and wrap all the bricks around, and I love the results. I'm very, very happy with it. I know right now it's nighttime, but during the day, this is a very, very bright house. It has big windows, as you can see, like 3 windows there, 2 here, like 5 more windows here. So it's a very bright and open, and also the ceiling height, it's really nice, as you can see. And right over here, as you can see, is the dining room. This I believe to be original from the house. Back when my friend bought this house about 5.5 years ago, I tried to restore it for him because it was in really bad shape. And the funny thing is, all these crystals, we thought they were amber color, and they actually crystal transparent. After I cleaned them up, they were so dirty that they were like a brownish amber color. This way over here, it's office that this was completely open, and these doors were down in the basement. These are not original from this house, but I like to recycle things and I reuse them, so I create an office space so you can work from home and have your kids watching TV in the living room. People can kind of like talk over and in the dining room while we work. Right over here, it's another door with glass that is connected to the main entrance. So if you have a client coming home, you're working from home, you can close the pocket doors, close these 2 doors, and your client comes straight to your office without seeing your house. I have a little surprise right here behind this door I'm going to show a little later. So right now we're going to show one of the big... Oh, before I forget, you see this little trim right here? I had to recreate this because the doors were too short. Right over here used to be a small opening. It was just like a regular door. I saved the original trims, as you can see, and the door was about this height. We opened up, we had to put a beam across, a structural beam, and what happened was that the trims are too short. So I brought it down a little bit because I didn't like the big opening. I don't want this house to look like a modern house, like an apartment. So I was like, you know what? Let's match at least their height. I know this was too low, but I matched at least the height of the windows. And what I did, since it used to be a door on this side, another door from the kitchen to the office, I also took those trims and I was able to connect them. You can even see the seam, and looks original. There's a big opening to the kitchen. You have, 3 rooms completely open, which gives a nice bright space, perfect for entertaining, and it looks original, so that's the best part. I'm going to introduce you to the kitchen. This was the major part of the whole renovation. So like I mentioned, this was a small door right here, was a door right here, and was a door right here that opened to a pantry in the back. Remember that door that I mentioned on the closet, on the office? That's the surprise they're gonna show you. So for having so many doors and so many windows in one space, the kitchen used to be very small, just about from here to there. The stove used to be against the wall and was just very little cabinetry. So the floors were in good shape, so I kept them. And I decided to play a little bit with contrast. So I used natural stone. This is, I believe it calls Via Lactea. So this is a black marble with white veining. And on the island, I use a white quartz with black veining. So it's the other way around. Very dark cabinets with, white cabinets over here. So it's the reverse. To give a nice, more high-end look, I use the double cabinetry, as you can see. I always like to do this when I have the ceiling height. Putting some chrome molding, and I don't like too busy of backsplash, but I like them to be interesting. So my thing in here was keeping a different type of subways, a skinny long subway all the way around, and behind the stove I installed this very beautiful, I'm obsessed with it. These are like embossed like flower tile, hexagon tile. I'm really in love with it. And I use the same color grout for the subways, the same color as this flower tiles, so that way it's kind of tied it all together. And to give a little nice pop and a warmth onto it, because the house is pretty warm, has a lot of brass original details, I decided to go for gold and brass hardware on the light fixtures, faucet, you know, knobs and poles. So that way you break it down the black and white theme, so it looks a little bit more warm and cozy. The island's a pretty good size. You can probably like seat 3 people easily here. And remember the door that I mentioned in the office? Let's go check it out what became. So I know I give it off the pantry, which is a big item that people love it. But I make it up by putting a lot of cabinetries and a big island, so it's plenty of storage. So we don't need the pantry anymore. Alright, so surprise, surprise, let's check it out what's behind the door. So this used to be a small closet for this office, and behind the closet was the kitchen pantry. And as you can see, it's a very nice mix between modern and classic design. So it's a very transitional design. As you can see, the portion of marble floors. It's a modern tile, however, has a classic look. But it matches really nice with the quartz on the countertops, on the very top. And the vanity, as you can see, it's kind of has an antique finish, has some black and gray accents. So it's pretty much black, gray, and white accents. My favorite part is the contrast between the wallpaper and the wainscoting. As you can see, the wallpaper has a black and taupey kind of gray leaves to it. It has a little shine to it. It's kind of like glitter, a little sparkle to it. And that goes really well with the glass tile on the shower. As you can see, the tile, it's a glass tile, however, it has a beautiful wood grain on the back. So, you know, I said that's the tree and these are the leaves. So it kind of works really well with some black contrast. My favorite part is actually the mirror. This mirror, I believe to be original from the house. This was on top of the fireplace when my friend bought this house 5 years ago. And he put it in the basement, and when I found it a few months ago, I was like, I gotta use it somewhere. And guess what? It matched perfectly the vanity. It's exactly the same size. It has even the same angle, so it's just perfect for this space. Since it's a kind of narrow baffle, and it's a kind of big mirror for the vanity, but gives the illusion that it's wide and deeper, so it makes it even brighter, especially when you have a window in the back. Pretty bright room too. Alright, let's go see the rest of the house. Alright, so I'm going to show you the upstairs. So there are 3 bedrooms up here. One pretty good size, 2 small on the smaller side, and a small room like the master. It's kind of like a nursery. Let's start from that one. So these are right here, the biggest room in the house. So again, since we jacked up this house, we had a lot of issues with the doors opening and closing. So I had to trim pretty much every door in this house. And we installed new carpets because the floors were kind of like in a bad shape. And I don't mind to have carpet on the bedroom as long as it's a good quality carpet. And this one has a very nice pattern to it. So don't mind about the decoration, because I will remove a lot of the decoration that was already in the house. I'm selling the house with all the furniture included. However, some of the smaller decors, the flowers, some of the details, I kind of already removed it, so it's kind of plain right now. So because this is a small nursery connected to the master, even though the master has a closet, I thought why not have as a big walk-in closet. So just as you can see how big it is, a couple of pieces of furniture here. This was a chandelier that my friend got. It's very, very similar to the original one from the house. I was able to restore it and it looks great. I just can't get it to work. But it's a beautiful chandelier. Alright, let's go to the other rooms. Alright, so this is the smallest room in the house, as you can see, but it's still a good sized room for the kid, You still can put a bed in here. We had a full-size bed here with a dresser, and you know, it was fine. It wasn't bad. So this is the third room of the house. It's kind of like a medium size, a little bit bigger than the last one. And this is the brightest room in the house as the sun sets that way. And it's about 6 windows in here, so not bad. It's a pretty nice, cozy room. And for the last on this floor, let me show you the bathroom. My friend renovated this bathroom. He had it renovated, I think, right away when he bought the house about 5 years ago. He did such a great job that I didn't want to mess with it. I kept the way that he left. The tub is original. He replaced the old antique sink and toilet. The toilet was already replaced. I would love to keep the original, but they were beyond saving. They were in really bad shape. They were in the basement, but I couldn't save them. But I do love, they're actually coming back in style, the 1930s, 40s, 50s fixtures, bathroom fixtures. The only thing I did at this bathroom was replacing the light fixture, and since bathrooms tend to be cold, I decided to put a nice warm antique mirror right in there. Alright, I love the floors, by the way, because these are the little mosaic hexagon marble tiles. So this was actually not the original, however, that's what they used to use back in the day. Here's the sunroom, like a pre-season porch. It's not heated, so we live in New England, so it's pretty cold. However, it's a very nice room for afternoons, because as I mentioned, the sun sets that way, so it gets a lot of sunlight. It gets really warm here in the summer. What I done here was I paint a lot of paint. We painted the floors, and I replaced the windows. There used to be 5 smaller windows, but they were really bad shape. I couldn't restore them, so I had to put brand new windows in here. And a brand new door too, brand new storm door. Unfortunately, it's nighttime, you won't be able to see it, but it's a beautiful deck back here. Down this way, it's the basement. We had new carpeting installed, like these are industrial carpet. What I done here was new flooring, new paint, and brand new ceilings. It's a big laundry room. We installed a sub panel, and I closed these so you have like a storage behind the stairs. It's pretty nice. Right here, this little mystery door used to be up here. It was a step over here, and was a little throne sitting in there by itself, like a little antique toilet. And it was super low ceilings. A normal person height couldn't fit in there. I left the door so we can access the sump pump right there, and I left the light on because we put a brand new bathroom in there. So it's, as you see, it's a pretty big laundry room. Right here, it's the playroom. So because it couldn't fit a sink right here, a laundry sink, because otherwise you won't be able to open the door to exit the house from the basement. It's actually not a basement, this part, because it's above ground. This is a basement on this side, which is just halfway. So we're stepping down here. This is the laundry sink, because it was the only way I could, to save some money, I used the same pipes, not the same plumbing that I used for the bathroom. I was able to use for the sink here. And the old kitchen cabinets, I repurposed them. Or some piece of wood that just left over from the construction. I just stained them. So you can have some storage here, and also behind right here, you can see it's some storage also with, using the old cabinetry. This is just like a 2 by 10, 2 by 12 wood boards that I had sitting around to sustain them, and they look pretty cool. So I had carpeting here. As you see, I didn't finish these walls because I really like the brick and I love the Fieldstone foundation. So I just had them painting. By putting a new drop ceiling with recessed lighting, I made the whites, the walls, bright. It kind of like doesn't feel like a dungeon, doesn't feel like a basement. And then by exposing the their original heating system pipes, I was able to get some heat down here, so we don't even need a heater. Right now the heat is kind of low, so it's a little chilly. It's always a little bit cooler up there, but it's warm enough to stay here. And you can always put a space heater. To save some money here, I didn't want to do drywall and more plastering construction. This house had a lot of issues, a lot of delays, especially foundation issues. So I had plumbing, electrical, I had a lot of things involved in here. So I tried to save in the long term. I used some nice finishings, however, I didn't have to put nice finishes like a basement, since I'm going to keep it exposed. Doesn't make much sense making this very nice and polished drywall. So I just use a light paneling, which is more quick and affordable way to do it. I use the same luxury vinyl planks that I used in there. I did in these floors over here. These are not affordable. However, I can get a really nice deal with a friend of mine that works for a big company, and he installed these, so he always gets me a really nice deal. So these doors access the mechanicals and all the storage on the house. This is the bathroom that we added. It's a full bathroom. So we had to put a sump pump. So because of that, like nothing is excavated on the foundation on the cement slab over here. So what we done it was raise the shower a little bit. So it's a little. We create a platform so that way it goes to the pump, which is behind the toilet. The toilet is the pump itself, actually. It's pretty interesting. Very expensive item, but so worth it. I was able to reuse the sink that I had in the house that I renovated. This was brand new in the house, so I was like, you know what? I didn't use it there, but I can use it here for a smaller bathroom. The light fixture that I replaced from upstairs, I brought it down here. And I think it's a pretty cool bathroom for the basement. Right this way, I was able to reuse the door to remove it from upstairs. Remember the kitchen that had a door to the office? So this is what I did to the door. I reused it, I used the frame, and we have a big, spacious basement for storage. I didn't have time to, I had a lot of actually stuff here, and I was able to remove today because I've been traveling, and if I had the time, I would definitely kind of like at least spray some paint over and make this a little bit nicer and cleaner. And the bathroom pipes and wires, it's very easy to access because the walls are finished on the back. So, all right, let's go back up. That's all for today, folks, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and stay tuned for our next project. Until next time.